Hey guys, how are you? It's Jess here. I'm the brand photographer and creative director at Sherrook Studios, and today's topic is going to be fun. So it's all about authenticity and 5 steps to create your authentic brand. So I really believe the most authentic brands are when someone's business, someone's brand is really aligned with the business owner, with their personality, with their values, with their style, their passions, their interests. Like, there's so many different things that you want to make sure line up, because then anytime you're promoting something, creating content, whatever, it feels very genuine. It feels like this is the right person to be doing this business. So like I said, authenticity is something really important. Oh yeah, I'm reading some things off here because this is gonna be like a work session today. So I'm gonna get you to actually grab a journal or even just the notes on your phone, because you're gonna be answering some questions. I like to think that when you truly brand yourself authentically, it's not so much about even like creating this version of yourself and like, I don't know, that feels like not you, like someone you feel like you need to be. Branding yourself authentically more feels like you're taking a mask off. You're removing all the parts that you feel, I don't know, people expected you to act like, or maybe qualities that were praised a lot and you're like, I need to show more of this to keep people interested. So yeah, it feels a lot like removing old layers and really discovering your true self underneath and showing that to the world. And another thing I love about really branding yourself authentically is the more true you are to yourself, the more you really deeply know yourself and you feel brave to shine all of that out into the internet, out when you meet people face to face. Anyone who really clicks with you and really resonates with you is actually getting to know the true you. So you're gonna attract like those soulmate clients and students and customers, because you're actually showing them who you truly are, and you're not showing them this like fake contrived version that you feel you need to present to the world. So this is probably why I'm so, passionate about authenticity, especially when it comes to business and branding, is that it's a win-win for the business owner and for the customers. They're finding someone that really inspires them, really understands their needs, that they really can relate to and click with. And then the business owner feels so much more free just being themselves and not needing to act a certain way anymore. And then in return, they attract people who really value that about them. So yeah, it can be a little bit scary going about this process, but I think in the end, it's definitely worth it. That's how you find your tribe. So let's get into the steps. So like I said, there's 5 different steps to discover your authentic brand, and you're gonna wanna have a journal handy. And if you need more time to answer the questions, just pause this video. So the first step is going to be all about your brand style. So I'm gonna get you to answer a few questions about it. I want you to think about what brands, bloggers, or different creative people, or like creative entrepreneurs, you feel inspired by. And I mean, you really like the visuals that they share. You're inspired by their style. And I want you to think about what about their style really resonates with you, and what words would you use to describe their style. So this just, I find, really helps you figure out what you're drawn to visually. And it makes it a lot more clear, because maybe you're drawn to this one blogger, but you just really love how all their photos are very colorful. That's probably how I feel about a lot of people. Like, my style is very colorful, so I'm just drawn to a lot of colorful brands because I love that. But maybe I'm not a big fan that their style is more minimalist. So get like really specific. Like, it doesn't mean you like everything about their style, but there's obviously certain things that really stick out to you. That's why you're so drawn to them, and you like the stuff they create, you like the stuff they put out. And another way to really take this one step further is to look at what maybe inspired you a few years ago and how has that shifted now. Because I know when I started my business, I was very inspired by more like couture, higher end designers, because I studied fashion, so I was more in that world and that was more on my radar. And I was like really drawn to, just very like more glamorous styles, I guess. And now a few years later, my style has very much shifted. I'm not really inspired by anything in that industry anymore. And you know, glamorous is definitely not how I would describe my own aesthetic, and it doesn't inspire me the same way. Now I'm definitely more drawn to like natural, ethereal, I don't know, I guess just more like still vibrant, still feminine, but a more earthy feel to it. And I'm not drawn to, you know, couture fashion anymore. I'm more like, I like crystals, I like wellness bloggers, and I love seeing all like fresh plant-based food, and I love travel bloggers and seeing gorgeous landscapes, things like that. Those types of visuals really resonate with me now. So even just seeing that shift, right? Like I need to pick up on that because this is going to help me pivot my brand to just be more in line with how I've evolved and staying true to my own style. Okay, so the next step is to figure out your brand personality. So the first question I'm gonna have you answer in your journal is to write out all the qualities you love about yourself and that other people love about you. So maybe these are things that you get complimented on often, or people say, I really admire this about you. So I'll give you an example of what I wrote down for this. I said compassionate, intelligent, playful, optimistic, and creative. So yeah, like I said, these are the things that I really identify with and I like in myself, and these are qualities that I know other people have said they like about me as well. So kind of, these ones really show you like what has been like really conditioned and reinforced in your own personality. And then the next question I'm gonna get you to answer is write out all the qualities you think people dislike about you. Now I'll also share my list so you have an idea. So I said goofy, loud, overly feminine, sensitive, and proud. So the reason I get you to also write these qualities out is because the things that we feel like people don't like about us, or maybe someone when we were a child, they were like, oh, you know, you need to be quiet, you're being too loud. Or maybe some kid on the playground was like, you're really sensitive and it's annoying. Or someone's style was like, wow, you're just like so over the top feminine, like it's too much, I don't like it. So it could be anything that someone kind of made you feel like wasn't a good thing to express or to like, or to show up as, you know what I mean? So, but the thing is that these qualities are still parts of us. We just will take this feedback from the outer world and kind of like adjust and, you know, shape our personalities to match what people like. I mean, maybe not everyone does this, but I think everyone does this to some extent, some more than others for sure. But when you can become aware of it, you're like, oh yeah, there are things that I purposely try to not do because I've gotten some sort of like negative feedback or opinion thrown at me in the past. So yeah, I guess writing these out is again really helpful because it just shows you the things that you've rejected in yourself. And once you can start to remove the shame around those qualities and realize this isn't good or bad, this is just an aspect of my personality, you can start to like love and appreciate and accept those parts of yourself too. And then when you show up online, this comes back to the authenticity piece, you're showing up as like your full self, your full spectrum. You're not just showing the parts that you think people want to see, you're showing every quality of yourself, regardless of what people think or what they like, don't like, whatever. And I think this is what I admire in, you know, some people online that I'm really inspired by, is you can tell they just are very unapologetic about who they are and their personalities. And I think that's a very, very attractive and magnetic quality. So by, you know, determining these two lists and just really integrating all of these qualities back into yourself, you will then start to show up as your very true, well-rounded, most authentic version of you. Okay, so the third step is to figure out the content you want to create. So, and I like to say content because I find every business or brand puts out some form of content, whether, you know, be for marketing or for whatever. So answer this question in your journal. What conversation do you want to have every day? And then another thing I want you to write out is all of the interests that you have that you think are dorky or shy to share about? So at least for me, this happened with my business journey. I felt like me and my brand were definitely out of alignment at one point because the content I was creating, I felt like I was obligated to share it because that's what my audience and clients expected of me. So they expected me to write more business content, branding content, photography content, which, I mean, this video is still about branding. But, you know, deep down, I was like, well, there's so many other conversations I want to be having. There's so many other topics I want to create about and write about. Things just more related to wellness and personal development, and I guess more general like life lessons and even spirituality. There's, you know, my interests have definitely shifted a lot in the past few years, but I kind of felt, okay, well, these topics though aren't related anything to what I'm doing. But that's kind of why you almost need to pivot and, you know, evolve and shift your brand as you go, because you're changing as a person always. So you need to kind of figure out how can you incorporate these things while not maybe completely shifting away from the previous content you posted, that what people expect of you, but how can you weave in other aspects? So actually this video is a really great example because I find the topic of authenticity and just really getting to know your true self and step into that, and really just like this whole personal development, self-discovery journey, I'm kind of weaving that in with a branding topic and a business topic. So yeah, this actually is a really great example of how I've been able to do that moving forward. And with the question related to your interests, you know, if you think something's dorky and you just feel, you know, shy to share about it, that's probably just like an internal insecurity. Like, again, there's probably something about maybe some feedback you've gotten, maybe someone made a comment and you're like, oh, I can't share about this, or this is just like way too left field, like no one's gonna understand why I'm talking about this. But I think it's important to, again, infuse the topics, the interests that we feel inspired by, we feel passionate about, because that's how you're gonna stay motivated to keep creating content and keep showing up as the true you and the most genuine version of yourself. If you're just talking about things that don't mean anything to you, that you don't really care about, that does just not feel good for you, and people are going to pick up on that energy in the content that you're creating, right? So again, some of the things that I wrote down for interests that I thought were kind of dorky, I was like, I don't want to share about this. I said astrology, tarot cards, law of attraction, manifestation, inner child work, and healing. And I said, I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting even. So yeah, my interests very varied. It's not just about business and photography that I'm interested in anymore. So yeah, this question, I hope this gives you insight to how maybe your current brand and your interests, now that they've evolved, how they don't really align anymore. And once you kind of can see on paper, like, okay, there's definitely a gap in here. Like, how can you kind of blend the two to feel better for you? So the fourth aspect is lifestyle. So again, in your journal, write down, what do you prioritize spending money on? And also, what do you spend time doing? So I find when we really start to analyze like where our money is going, what are our biggest like expenses, or even if it's a personal thing, and where our time is going, these are like our two biggest resources, right? Money and time. So clearly when we really truly value something, we're willing and excited to put money into it and put our time into it. So again, if your brand is talking all about travel and you never prioritize traveling, like that's super out of alignment. That's one, yeah, your audience is gonna pick up on that. They're gonna be like, what? This doesn't really make sense, and that probably doesn't feel very authentic to you. So yeah, take a look at what's really important to you, and can you incorporate these things more into your business? Because I'm sure your audience would love to hear the things that you really value. And again, the things that I wrote down, again, just great insight for myself, was holistic wellness treatments, travel, business coaching, living in a metropolis city, because a lot of my money goes to rent. And you know, I choose to live in a big city compared to at home or in a smaller town or whatever. And then for time, spend a lot of my free time reading or hanging out with family and friends, exercising, creating content, and growing my business. So yeah, little insight to my values and my priorities. And then the last question I want you guys to answer is all about your audience. So in your journal, what kind of people do you like to spend time with or connect with on a personal level? And also, is there someone you want to help or work with professionally? So again, this question really just indicates who you're drawn to helping and who you want to serve. And for me, when I started my business, I was very drawn to female entrepreneurs, like in any industry really. That was like my ideal target client. I just really bonded with them, was really inspired by them, could relate to them. I just, yeah, I love being in their energy. And again, since evolving, I've just definitely have noticed I'm more drawn to people who are in wellness, who are in spiritual industries, communities, whatever. And also entrepreneurs who are very, very heart-centered and are driven by like a greater purpose or mission. So I wouldn't say my audience has like completely shifted, but it's definitely like been refined more. Like I have a much clearer idea of who I want to work with. And yeah, this is again just very helpful, like, because again, it's gonna feel so good to work with the people that you feel so blessed to be serving, and you feel so grateful and you feel truly connected to them. And those people are going to, in return, feel that love, feel that passion that you have for that specific type of client. So, you know, once you start working with clients that you're just a perfect match for, why would you ever go back to just serving any client under the sun? Because you're gonna realize like you're not gonna click with everyone, and there's gonna be another business who's better suited to serve them. So you don't even have to feel bad that you're not the best fit for them. There's definitely gonna be someone else. So yeah, those are my 5 steps, guys. And I hope if you take anything away from this video, it's to really just be open to evolving. Don't feel like you need to keep yourself stuck in a box. Like your business is gonna change, you're gonna change as a person, your priorities and values and friendships and everything's going to evolve, and that's so natural. So yeah, don't, you know, resist it or feel bad or guilty about it. Embrace it. It's a beautiful process, and you're really just getting to know yourself more and evolving into the person who you always have meant to become. So if you are wanting more info, more help with discovering your true brand and defining your style, I'm going to, here, I'll put a little picture here. I have a free brand questionnaire and you can download it for free. I'm gonna put the link down below in the description box. It has 19 different questions. I use this questionnaire with all of my clients before their photo shoots, so I really get to know, you know, their style, who they're working with, what their mission is. Again, like kind of some of these questions, like what are they drawn to? What colors inspire them? There's a ton of questions on there. It's really just to give in-depth brand clarity to myself and also to the business owner. So yeah, you can get that for free. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.